Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. Allincrypto here, and today we are back in the woods. And it dawned on me earlier this week that I actually haven't done one of these walk and talk videos in regards to Hedera Hashgraph HBAR, which is strange. You know, why haven't I done one of these walk and talk videos about HBAR, given that it is such a promising project? In fact, I think it's going to be one of the best performers of 2024, and potentially, depending on how far we go into 2025, Hedera Hashgraph is in many ways introducing entirely new concepts to the distributed ledger technology space, you know, the DLT space, the crypto space. You know, it's not a blockchain. We will talk about that and what it is. It's a DAG. And of course, the hash graph is the consensus that HBAR runs off of. And it's governed in a very interesting way that we're going to talk about, which some people take a beef with. And I actually think that their approach to governance is a really interesting one. And that is actually, as I mentioned at the start of the video, a new paradigm that's being introduced to the crypto space. Instead of, you know, me and you running a node, and Hedera do have a roadmap that will see that become a possibility, it's kind of chosen to choose some of the largest institutions in the world to run nodes, such as Boeing, Aberdeen, which is the largest hedge fund in the United Kingdom, Dell, LG, Google, Mondelez was mentioned the other day. They're the guys behind Toblerone, Cadbury's, and DLA Piper. You know, it's a very interesting approach that they've taken, and I actually think that in a world where traditional institutions look to merge and utilize distributed ledger technology, this could perhaps be a winning formula. Because when I talk to businesses about crypto, they kind of bring up FTX and treat it with a degree of caution, and rightfully so. But when I talk to them about Hedera and I say things like, well, look, this is the governing council, it kind of puts them a little bit at ease, which is kind of a unique selling point, I think, of Hedera. But let's just outline Hedera broadly. So we have given price predictions a number of months ago for Hedera that were all technically based. You know, we don't give price predictions on where we think the market cap could end up or things like this. I made that mistake back in 2017. We give our price predictions based on what is technically plausible to us based on the patterns that are setting up and the targets that are generated from those patterns. So we are looking at Hedera potentially going to 26 cents, and then the potential for a $2 Hedera price, which would be spectacular for somebody like myself and many of you guys that follow the channel and watch me and have listened to me talking about Hedera for nearly a year now. And we're kind of, I guess, late in some ways to the Hedera train. You know, it's only really become an investment of mine over the past year, but I would argue actually a perfect time. You know, we kind of mitigated a lot of the bear market, and now we're getting in when the charts seem to be pointing towards accumulation. We've now broken out of that accumulation, or stage one, into a stage two, which is an uptrend. So a great time. But let's ignore all that for a second. I just wanted to kind of mention it. Let's talk about what Hedera is. So Hedera is interesting, and again, a new paradigm in regards to the fact that it's not even a blockchain, it's a DAG. It's a crypto, it utilizes cryptography, but it utilizes a DAG to basically facilitate a distributed ledger. And DAGs are extremely interesting. I actually think DAGs in some ways are a bit of a winning formula, because the problem that you have with this kind of architectural layer one blockchains that we have, and I should put maybe a picture of them up on the screen. You know, they kind of one block, certain time period, another block or an epoch or whatever it is. And this makes them quite hard to scale. And what you tend to find, if you look at Ethereum's roadmap, if you look at the kind of cryptocurrencies that have got a lot of hype around them that are utilizing this kind of blockchain technology, what they're now doing is they're having the one chain that secures things, and they're adding, kind of parallelizing the chain again, and duplicating that to kind of gain their scale. Whereas Hedera, being a DAG, so it doesn't have this kind of one block, epoch, one block, epoch, one block, it essentially just drops a load of blocks, and then a load of blocks, and then a load of blocks. Really basic and perhaps too simple explanation of what a DAG is. And these DAGs, or these blocks, connect to one another through hashes. So you can sort of generate the sequence. And I think since Hedera's DAG went live, there's been something like 42 billion transactions. Right now, the TPS of Hedera is running around about 1200 TPS, so 1200 1,200 transactions per second. That is significantly more than most, and it's doing this without a hitch. Actually, the transactions on the chain spike consistently. You know, this is another really unique selling point of Hedera, is it's fit for purpose. If we look to move towards a world where the kind of things that take place on the Web 2 space, or the real world in terms of transactions and things, are going to move over to the blockchain, it needs to be scalable, and quite frankly, most blockchains simply aren't. You also need to have some sort of a mechanism for being able to dictate fees, and Hedera also has that, which is important. You know, you can't, Ethereum is only where it is because it has that first mover advantage. You've got institutions that are now invested in that are going to propagate that, but really it's not fit for purpose at all. And even the layer 2s, you can't structure the fees on most of them. You can on some, and they are getting a lot better. But Hedera offers, without a layer 2, on its kind of layer 1, the Hashgraph, an unbelievably scale model due to utilizing DAG technology, a direct acyclical graph technology, and it offers extreme scalability. It offers some sort of predictability with fees, and if you're a business or somebody looking to utilize blockchain, you're going to want that. I mean, how can you operate and run a business when you don't know what your costs and your outlays are going to be? You know, and some of these blockchains really have that problem. It also offers the comfort of being ran by some of the largest institutions in the world, the governing council, that are all actively part of the conditions, or the terms and conditions of becoming a governing council member, is you actually have to have a vested interest in Hedera and looking to be utilizing it and facilitating some sort of a use case or a usage of it. And every single governing council member is trying to do that. And those governing council members include some of the biggest names, the biggest companies, institutions in the world. And people do take beef with Hedera being ran by some of the largest institutions in the world, but what does everybody want from blockchain? They want institutional adoption, they want real use cases. And actually the governing council is going to give Hedera, I think, a leg up on many other blockchains out there. So Hedera is nothing short of impressive. From a performance point of view, it's fit for purpose, which a lot aren't. From a fee point of view, it's perfect. From a adoption point of view, it's probably got the most amount of institutional partners that are actually interested in running and helping to consent and govern the chain out of pretty much any blockchain project out there. The only other one that I could perhaps think of that maybe rivals it is Polygon. Polygon are partnered with everyone, and you're going to see a lot once we get regulatory clarity coming out from Polygon and Matic's ecosystem. It's just unbelievable. You know, it truly is, and it's scalable. It's, you know, everything about Hedera makes sense. And the governing council, so what is the governing council? Okay, so the interesting thing with Hedera is they've taken a different approach. They've introduced this new paradigm of actually going to institutions to run the nodes instead of like Bitcoin, me and you running them, or Cardano, me and you running them, which people are pissed off about. And I can understand why. You know, we're supposed to be moving away from these institutions and creating our own, whatever it may be. And I'm still about that. You know, I still invest in projects that are that. I run nodes on many different blockchains, and I have done for years. And many of you that have been following me will know that. But the governing council consists, again, of people like Google, Dell, DLA Piper, Mondelez, which were the most recent one. You know, some of the biggest institutions in the world. They essentially all run, I believe it's 2 nodes that have to be in different jurisdictions and on different, or only 2 of the governing council members can actually run nodes on the same kind of like Amazon Web or something like that services, which actually makes them significantly more decentralized than something like Ethereum from a node positioning point of view, because I think it's something like 30% of Ethereum's nodes are run on Amazon Web Services. 30% of Cardano's nodes are run on Amazon Web Services. So there is, people always say, oh, well, it's centralized. Well, you fundamentally not understood what a distributed ledger is. It has to be distributed to work. And that's where the power of this technology comes in, because there's no one single kind of attack vector. You know, it's very, very powerful stuff that we're looking at. So by all accounts, and this is what shocked me about not actually having previously made a video on Hedera. Why have I not, when it's such an impressive blockchain project? We made lots of videos on Hedera, but none where we've kind of got in front of the camera and done a bit of a walk and talk with you guys and sort of maybe shed some light on why it is that we're so interested in this project. I mean, I am unbelievably, Hedera is one of my largest positions, HBAR is one of my largest positions, I make no bones about it. If you want to unlock my entire portfolio, do consider becoming a Patreon. You know, we're on the HBAR train. I know many of you are, and we wanted to just get a video out there to maybe talk about it a little bit more in a little bit more detail, and just explain why it is we're so excited and kind of recognize some of the new paradigms that Hedera is bringing to the table. We are going to have Brandon, the HBAR bull, on, I believe, next week. Again, great guy. If you want to stay up to date with everything happening with the Hedera ecosystem, I know he works with the HBAR Foundation. You know, he's an amazing guy to follow. There's lots of people that we talk about. Hopefully we can line up an interview with Lehman and Mance. That would be amazing. We've interviewed lots of founders in the crypto space. You can go and check out my podcast. We also launch them on YouTube if you go under the podcast playlist, Allincrypto. And the amazing thing about Hedera right now is it's not too late to get on that train. If you look at it from a price point of view, it's just broken out. Okay, and we've highlighted that. Since we gave that price prediction, we've been following along with it because we're really trying to do a service, I think, to people that are interested in crypto and shine a positive light on the crypto space that's so rife with scammers and shillers and things like this. You know, I don't care whether you buy Hedera or not, but what I want to do is highlight an opportunity for you guys that perhaps haven't already. And it's an opportunity I'm fully on board with. I don't benefit from you buying Hedera. I maybe benefit from you watching the videos or from you joining my Patreon or things like that, but we make no bones about that. You know, it doesn't bother me whether you buy Hedera or not, but I think it would be an opportunity missed. And that's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say or do on this channel is financial advice. But when you weigh Hedera up against the crypto space in general, it's very impressive. Very impressive. Performance is unbelievable. It's fit for purpose. It's fit for serving real world use cases. When you look at partnerships, when you look at applications, when you look at their model, to add to the whole governing council thing as well, people think, oh, well, I'm not going to get involved in something that's just ran by institutions. By the way, those institutions that run Hedera's nodes don't benefit from it, which might be a little bit strange to some of you. And actually, we are going to move. Their roadmap does have in it a path for community nodes and then unauthorized community nodes. So anyone can just set up a node and help to run the Hedera blockchain. You know, their software was patented at one point. It wasn't open source. Now it all is. You know, they are going from strength to strength, and we want to make sure that you guys are at least aware of it. So that's really all I've got for you guys. If you've enjoyed this content, a like is always appreciated. So is a comment, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next.